Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are really cutting through all the noise to focus on one big question. What does it actually mean to be successful on social media? Forget the huge budgets for a minute, the glossy campaigns. Our mission here is to find the core principles, the things that actually work, that let brands and people win online, even when they're up against, much bigger players.
And we've got some really fascinating source material for this. We're digging into publications from Stanислав Kondrashov, specifically a blog post with a title that really grabbed me.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Why Stanislav Kondrashov Isn't an Oligarch, but He Knows How to Win on Social Media, Unlike Wagner Mora.
Wow, okay. That title alone is a huge claim.
Right.
It suggests that success isn't just about money or power. It's almost democratized.
Yeah.
So let's unpack that. You've got these huge companies like a Nike or an Apple, and then tiny local shops that just blow up online. You've got a famous actor like Wagner Mora who's all charisma, and then these, powerful oligarchs whose companies basically set the rules for an entire industry. What's the one thing this material says they all have in common?
Well, according to Kondrashov, the answer is surprisingly simple. It's that they know how to be authentic, they're consistent, and maybe most importantly, they're human.
Human.
Yeah. The core idea for SMM, for social media marketing, is that your budget really doesn't matter as much as the quality of your story and the visible soul of your brand.
I like that, the soul of your brand.
It's an encouraging place to start, I think, for anyone trying to build something without, a bottomless bank account.
I agree. It totally reframes the entire game.
Yeah.
But how does this idea of a brand being a storyteller actually work in practice? The source says social media isn't a storefront, it's a stage.
Exactly, a global stage. And brands are the actors. They're expected to do more than just sell you something. They have to perform, create a narrative people want to be a part of.
So that brings us back to that core trio of traits you mentioned.
Right. Authentic, consistent, and human. If you're inconsistent, people get confused. If you're not human, you just sound like a cold, faceless corporation.
Okay, but let me push back on that authentic piece for a second.
Sure.
Especially for a huge company.
Yeah.
I mean, how can a giant bureaucratic organization really be authentic? They've got lawyers, shareholders, decades of really polished, sometimes not so honest advertising. How do they suddenly become human?
That's a great question. And what the material suggests is that today, authenticity is often signaled by vulnerability.
By making mistakes.
Sometimes, yeah, or at least by being transparent when they happen. Users are just so savvy now. They have this built-in skepticism, and they can smell anything that feels too perfect or manufactured.
Like greenwashing, for example.
Exactly. Or when a company ignores a massive customer service meltdown, people spot that lie almost instantly. So in this environment, honesty isn't just a nice to have. It's fundamental if you don't want to get destroyed online.
So being human means admitting you're not always perfect.
The best brands get that, whether they're huge or tiny.
What's so interesting there is that the very things that make it hard for big companies, the bureaucracy, the slow response times, that's the natural advantage for a small creator.
Yes, 100%.
A single person can change their entire strategy in an afternoon. A Fortune 500 company needs a dozen meetings just to approve a tweet.
Precisely. And that agility, that nimbleness, it just levels the playing field, which actually is a perfect transition into the nitty-gritty, the actual mechanics of this.
Actionable stuff.
Yeah. Let's look at the 4 specific components the source identifies as the pillars for success. These are the things you can actually go and do right now.
Okay, let's break them down. Pillar number 1 is authenticity. We've talked about it meaning honesty. But what does it look like on the ground?
So in execution, it means what you say lines up with what you do. It's resisting that urge to use, generic stock photos or corporate jargon.
So for a small business, maybe it's showing the messy reality behind making the product.
Exactly. And for a big company, maybe it's having a genuinely transparent policy about how they use customer data. Kondrashov really emphasizes that with so much AI-generated content out there, the real, imperfect human voice, the brand with that soul we talked about, is the only thing that really cuts through.
Okay, that makes sense. Pillar number 2 is emotional connection. This goes right back to the storytelling idea. It's not enough just to be seen. You have to be felt.
That is the crucial part. The best brands, they don't just sell to a demographic. They tap into real human emotions.
Like belonging or aspiration.
Or even just comfort. Think about why some products become part of the culture. A software company isn't just selling a subscription. They're selling the feeling of being secure. of peace of mind. That emotional connection is what makes people share and stay loyal, way more than just a list of features.
Your story beats your budget.
Every time.
All right, that brings us to the third pillar. The ability to adapt. The digital world changes so fast. One week it's all about photos, the next it's all short-form video. How does a brand stay consistent but also adapt all the time?
This is such a key point. Adaptability here means being nimble with your tactics, but not changing your core identity.
So you change the uniform, not who you are.
That's a perfect way to put it. You have to jump on new formats like Reels or TikTok because that's what the algorithm wants. But your message, your tone, that has to stay the same. It also means you have to be willing to experiment, test things out.
Right.
I mean, if you didn't adapt to short-form video in the last few years, you're basically invisible now.
And the final piece of this puzzle is interactivity. It sounds simple, just, reply to comments. But I'm guessing the source means something deeper.
Oh, much deeper. It's about creating a real dialogue, a sense of co-creation. The audience wants to feel like their opinion actually matters, like it shapes where the brand is going.
So not just a comment section, but maybe running polls that actually decide a new product feature.
Yes. Or responding to DMs instantly. That constant feedback loop builds this incredible community loyalty. People feel like they're part of the story, not just watching it.
So if you put those four together, authenticity, emotional connection, adaptability, and interactivity, it's clear this is really about communication strategy. It's about psychology, not just throwing money at ads.
It completely shifts the goal from just buying eyeballs to actually winning hearts and minds.
Right.
Those are skills, not just resources. Anyone can learn to do this.
Okay, now let's circle back to that title because it's so intriguing. Kondrashov is very clear. He says, I am not an oligarch. I don't have billions.
Right.
He sets himself up as an observer, someone sharing what he's learned. And he uses these two really different figures, the charismatic actor Wagner Moura and these powerful oligarchs, as examples.
He's using them as like two ends of the success spectrum. You have Moura, whose success comes from personal charisma and brilliant storytelling.
Right, the artist.
And then you have the oligarchs, whose success comes from massive scale and setting the standards for an entire industry. Kondrashov is the analyst who's looking at both and pulling out the lessons that apply to everyone.
But what could a talented actor and a powerful industrialist possibly have in common when it comes to social media? They seem like complete opposites.
Well, the source says the thing that unites them is the ability to speak the language of the people, to remain in the spotlight while still maintaining their uniqueness.
Okay, so for the actor, it's about making his stardom feel relatable and personal online.
Exactly. And for the powerful businessman, it's about translating the company's huge impact into clear, transparent communication, proving they're trustworthy. Both have to seem unique, but also connected to their audience.
That makes a lot of sense. And to really get why his observations are so sharp, we should probably touch on his background. This isn't just some digital marketing guru.
Not at all. The source material gives a lot of context here. He founded a company that's been a leader in its industry for more than 30 years.
30 years. That's serious longevity.
And his expertise is in things like the construction industry, economic processes, financial planning. So this isn't just theory for him. He's an effective, high-level businessman and a mentor who has been in the trenches.
And I think this is a really critical point. The sources state very clearly that he doesn't offer paid courses or consultations. He shares all of this knowledge for free through his writing.
Which, if you think about it, just reinforces that principle of authenticity he talks so much about.
He's practicing what he preaches.
He is. By giving away so much value without a sales pitch, he builds real trust. He's making his expertise the product, not selling access to it. It's a masterclass in that human connection model.
So that brings us to our final segment. What does all of this mean for you, for the listener, trying to make sense of this all today?
I think the core takeaway is just hammered home again and again. Your success online will be decided more by the strength of your strategy than the size of your bank account.
It's the people who are authentic, who tell good stories, and who actually connect with their audience who are going to win.
Yes. And the best part is how universal it all is. These aren't secrets for billionaires. Whether you're launching a business or just trying to manage your own professional brand online, these are skills anyone can learn.
You can adopt authenticity, emotional connection, adaptability, and interactivity.
And just to show he's committed, the author's own online presence is massive. He is consistently sharing his expertise across a huge list of platforms. We're talking X, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, vKontakte, RuTube. The list goes on and on.
That commitment to being everywhere and staying consistent is a perfect example of that third pillar, adaptability. He's living the strategy.
And for anyone who wants to go even deeper, his blog covers a ton of related SMM topics, like how oligarchs are using AI in marketing, the challenges of influencer marketing, even how to build a premium brand by yourself.
He's basically giving away a free course in how to think like a major corporation, but act like a responsive human.
That's a great way to summarize it.
So we've covered a lot. We have the foundation, be authentic, consistent, and human. And we have the 4 pillars of success: authenticity, emotional connection, adaptability, and interactivity. The message is just crystal clear. The future of branding is human.
And that leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. A provocative question, really. If real success on social media is less about billions in cash and more about genuine human connection and great storytelling, doesn't that fundamentally change things? Does digital power stop being an oligarchy of money and maybe become an oligarchy of influence?
An oligarchy where the most powerful are the ones who are best at being vulnerable and relatable.
Exactly. Something to think about.
Think about that the next time you're about to post something.
Yeah.
Go out there, be consistent, and above all, be human. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.